Hi, I'm Elizabeth Johnson, and this is From the Source, a show highlighting what is new and going on in your neighborhood and in your village. As co-president of the Manhasset Chamber of Commerce, I'm excited to host this show, which provides insight into our local villages and its representatives. One of the nicest things about living in a village is its organizations that make it special. The Women's Club of Flower Hill is a philanthropic organization which has been a part of the community for the past 70 years. The group, which has provided meaningful events for families, children, youth, and adults, unifies 3 zip codes of Manhasset, Port Washington, and Roslyn, and gives back to the community. Today, I'm excited to have as my special guests 2 wonderful women who are integrally involved in the Women's Club of Flower Hill. I'm pleased to welcome Maureen Smith and Margie Suga. Hello, ladies.
Hello, Elizabeth.
Thanks for coming in today.
Thanks for having us today.
So I know that you have been very much involved in the Women's Club of Flower Hill. Tell me a little bit about its history.
The history of the club? Well, I guess I'm the parliamentarian because they brought me everything 20 years ago and no one ever came back to pick it up. So I have all the records and everything, and I did go through it. We're all looking to see exactly when, where, and how it was started. It was started by a woman called Mrs. Joseph Cardillo, because in those days, everybody was Mrs., husbands, and then your last name. No one used their first name. They were very prim and very proper ladies. I love looking at the pictures. I think one of the requirements to join the club was you had to have pearls and a hat, because at all the meetings, they were the best dressed women I've ever seen.
Right.
And everybody looked like they were happy. But looking back at the history, Flower Hill was new. And William Levitt came in and he was building his extravaganza houses. They had a basement, an attic, 2 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage, not like your typical Levitt townhome. So this was considered elite. Of course, people wondered who would have 2 cars. We're going back to 1950. If you remember, women, not that many women drove in those days. And I mean, you remember Lucy and Ethel, they weren't driving. I mean, that was the early 50s. So they started the club because they were new in the area. It was started out more basically to be social, with the intention of raising money for various children's charities on Long Island. And that's how it started. And they figured out how to be a success. They figured out you have to have a little fun while you're fundraising.
Very good.
Yes.
That's excellent. Now, so the mission of the Women's Club of Flower Hill is for philanthropic reasons. So
Completely. We're nonprofit, and we basically we give everything away, and we give it to various children's charities. If you read our Constitution, it says children's charities on Long Island. We pretty much stick to that. We have to have the board vote on anything other than that, and very few other times have we've given it to other organizations that were worthy.
And what kind of events do you usually put together?
Oh, there are plenty.
They're
They're countless. Over 70 years, we've had floral demonstrations. We had local florists come in and do a little demo, and then give everybody a little raffle prize, so to say. And then the proceeds from every event we do is donated to a children's charity of that particular host's home and their preference.
We've had different things. We have a pool party every summer, and that's always fun. And we have a major fundraiser is our Christmas luncheon. That's a given. That's written in stone. That's our major fundraiser. Right. And we have vendors, and we have raffles, and we have silent auctions. And as I said, that's our major fundraiser. At other events, we always have, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. And right. We figured that out. And keep them, I guess we have to amuse, entertain, and educate.
Right.
And then they come back.
And we do bunco nights, we do different any kind of socialization.
We had Grace Grella as a speaker. I know everybody knows Grace. She was very entertaining. They all loved her.
She was great.
Right?
We try to
We've
do
had the
things-
Memory Man. He was entertaining too. I really forgot what he said already, but he was entertaining at the time. And we've had guest speakers, and basically they love the guest speakers. You have to have a hook to make them come. But also, I'm
We've
thinking
done
about
fashion shows.
fashion shows, yes.
Fashion
That's
shows. There's a variety of things that people come up with, and we just
Now, you're dealing with 3 different zip codes, okay, in Flower Hill. You're dealing with Roslyn, Port, and Manhasset. Is that hard to bring the women together, or are they just,
a lot of we live in a thank goodness where people are very giving and they enjoy each other as neighbors, and everybody's kind to each other, and we send out an email or a mailing invitation, and if they're available on that day, they will come.
No,
we
that's
reach,
never been a problem. I mean, we've had past presidents from Roslyn. We've had past presidents from Port Washington. Manhasset, I think, has rules because there's more members. But remember, St. Francis Hospital was there. That's the middle. We're all built up around it. The hospital was there before us.
that's true. So during this wonderful Christmas luncheon, which I have attended several times, you, every year, you speak to the women and you say a little prayer. Tell me a little bit about that and how that came about, because it's really very meaningful and I just enjoy hearing it every year. So could you share with us?
It's called the Collect of Women, and most women's clubs have it. It's written by someone called Mary Stewart. No relation to Martha, because this was written in 1949. Actually, that's when they started it, and it's basically the bottom line to summarize would be to be kind,
be
to
kind
remember
to one another and
to
help
be-
your neighbor.
to help one another, be genuine, but always remember, no matter how busy you are, to be kind. It's long, but that's the bottom line. I just gave you the nutshell version.
Yes. Okay. So you were talking about the charitable agencies that you support, and I know each year, and you're saying whoever hosts it actually has some determination of where that money goes. What is your biggest contribution go to usually?
St. Christopher Ottilie. It's in Seacliff.
Okay.
Abused children, neglect, foster homes. They start the paperwork that I went through. It shows we started giving to them in 1958, and they're always first on the list. We've given to them every year, and actually, you should have a show interviewing them. They're quite interesting and meaningful what they do.
Right.
And of course, we have the little village house right there in
We have
Flower
our
Hill.
own village house right in Flower
That's
Hill.
Talk to me about that. What is it?
Well, it's a special home for handicapped people. They're children and adult, and
They live there.
they live
don't-
there. And sometimes they're in need of a bench that the state is funding them, and they don't have funds for that. So we'll give them a new bench or a table, or see what it is they need that particular year, and we will donate to them. We enjoy having them. We're happy to have someone taking care of them the way that they do. And when you see them walk around the neighborhood or being wheeled around sometimes,
In the summertime.
it reminds you of, how lucky we all are. That's.
So, tell the viewers, what do you normally do? Like now, here is the summer is coming on. Is there something? I want to hear about this pool party because you brought it up. Okay. So I would like to hear some exciting stories that have occurred during.
I don't think we can tell them on TV. We can't. No.
No secrets.
No. There's
Yes, we know
several
questions.
women at Flower Hill have pools, so it's hard to convince someone that it's their turn to have the party, and just everybody comes, and we have it catered for lunch. Lunch, it's a big spread of food and swim, and just it's strictly social. Strictly
Sometimes
social.
we'll have the local vendors, local stores, and restaurants will donate one plate and they're happy to do that. And if we get 10 different restaurants to do so, now we have food for everyone. And so any money that we would earn by charging to come would go then to a specific charity of the woman that hosted the event. And it's pretty simple. And
The raffles,
it can be a few
and then we
hours.
always have raffles left over
And it's
from
always-
something that we
Oh,
do.
yeah. A
You
lot of
know,
attic treasures.
A lot, yeah, attic treasure. Yeah. And they
it's
love to
always,
win.
you know-
Women love to win. They do. They really do,
They
right?
do.
They don't need it. They don't want it. But if they win, they're the happiest woman in Flower Hill.
Doesn't matter if it came out of somebody else's attic.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So, those kind of events, not our Christmas luncheon. Don't.
No, no, not
Christmas luncheon's class act.
But you know,
the,
people enjoy coming to these events because they get to see, you know, people are very busy. Their children, who's at soccer, who's here, there, and they're all over the place. So when they have 1-2 hour event that they can come and see their old neighbors and you get caught up. Sometimes you see people at every event. Some people come once a year just to our Christmas luncheon. So, and it's always nice to reconnect with people and see what they're up to and, you know.
I think the women's clubs are a success because everybody needs a little me time. Whether you work full time, you're a soccer mom, or you are a caretaker. To go to a women's club meeting or event, it's for a couple of hours. It's kind of like me time, and then whatever monies you raise, it go into a worthy cause. So it's a win-win.
Win-win. Win-win. Right.
So I know that one of your charities is the Planet Manhasset, and one of your neighbors had started it up
Yes.
originally. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Yes, so well, we have our neighbor Angela, who's always happy to host at her home.
And she has a pool.
But we don't.
She does, but we don't let anybody swim that
We don't
day.
let anybody in her pool. But
That's a dress-up day.
no, she has a beautiful home, and she, again, we get all the food donated from local stores and restaurants, and one plate each, and we make a beautiful fundraiser, and we have vendors, and we keep it light, and it's outside, and it's a couple hours.
Been lucky. It has never rained.
No,
We've
we've been
never
pretty
rained.
lucky.
It's been doing it 5 years maybe.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
And so Planet
And she lets
Manhasset-
us come back every year,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
That's good.
Usually with one time is a lot.
Yes. But yeah, so she has created this garden behind the high school to teach the children how to plant and harvest, and then they give the proceeds of the
The
garden.
organic vegetables. They
Organic, right.
They watch them grow and they
Right, and they
cultivate.
harvest them, these kids cultivate it and then grow over the summer months, and then they harvest the garden and give it to a homeless shelter. So they have fresh vegetables, and it's a feel-good feeling for the kids, and they realize and learn early how important it is to give back to the community and to help people in need. So that's and that's always a fun event too.
So how would women find out more about the Women's Club of Flower Hill and join? You know, let's say, do you as a club reach out to the new people who've moved into the neighborhood, or?
Well, generally what we do is we don't have access to that information, but if there's a neighbor that's new, we'll go over and hand her a membership form, introduce ourselves, you know, as a neighbor to neighbor.
They do have membership forms in the village, hall.
Yeah, Village Hall has them.
And they'll tell you who to contact, who's taking membership.
But the
That's
village
easy.
doesn't always get
Well,
that
usually it's
person.
by word of mouth. If
Yeah.
you know you have a new neighbor, you're
And we do
asked
have
to
a
join.
website. We have a Women's Club of Flower Hill website.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Right, so you can access that, and we're happy to have anybody as a member that wants to, you know, be a part of it all and get to know your neighbor and see who your children are growing up with, you know.
So
That I did research going back to see, you know, to join the Women's Club at Flower Hill in the 50s, you needed 2 sponsors. You needed to be interviewed by the board, and they did some sort of a background check before you were accepted. And then you were accepted, you paid an initiation fee and your dues. And then you were printed in the book as Mrs. You know, John Doe, right? But now we're a little bit different. You kind of joined the day after your check clears.
Right.
So what is the website that you would look to get information related to the club?
Oh, it would be the Women's Club of Flower Hill.
.com?
.com.
Perfect. Okay, great. And what's the fee to join?
$25 dues.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't
all.
think
Just
we
dues.
have an initiation anymore. We kind of did away with
We
that.
don't charge initiations.
No.
It's just really just to keep an email
They
list.
had
and
that
if-
several years ago,
Right.
but I haven't seen
And the
anybody.
dues are just to pay for postage should we need to mail things out.
Operating costs. and all that
Operating.
stuff.
Now, do they, in the past, I know they put together books. Do you still put together
mean a
book?
directory of
Yes,
members?
of members.
We have a
We
directory.
haven't done it in a few years
We don't
because
print
everything's
books.
online.
Right.
They have,
Okay.
you know, so you have everyone's email, and just about everyone has an email. Some of the old timers, we have a list of the old timers that want to receive, you know, paper
Mailing.
copy.
Well,
We
your
try to accommodate everyone.
Christmas party is usually a sellout, and I understand that you're working on a party to celebrate 70 years.
We are.
Talk to me a little bit about that.
Well, I'm chairman of it. I'm not sure what I was drinking when I said yes. So I chaired the 50th anniversary when I was taller, thinner, younger, and didn't wear glasses to read. So I guess they thought I should do the 70th. It's called the Walk Down Memory Lane. And we're going to have videos going back. I've been working on the video, all these pictures. Like I said, that's how I know everyone had pearls and hats. They have in the pictures. I love to
Right.
see that what they were wearing. Having very dressed up, very elegant group going to a meeting.
Remember the Red Hat luncheons?
Right. That we've had that too. You wanted to know something else? Remember the time we have luncheons where everyone has to wear a hat or you can't come in. And
Really?
then we had, then to make it, some people wouldn't come, so we said there's a prize for the funniest, the prettiest, the ugliest. And believe it or not, the ugliest had more votes. More people decided to go for the ugly hat instead of the pretty one, which, you know, I was just looking at those pictures. But what was what it was?
70th
The
luncheon?
70th luncheon. It's a walk down memory lane. It's a fashion show with fashions from the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s to see what we were wearing. And some interesting, a little trivia back and forth, a little audience participation. And it should be fun.
It'll be a
So,
fun lunch.
are these coming out of the women's closets, or is
Back in the attic.
Attic treasure.
Attic
I have
treasures.
treasures?
I
Absolutely.
have gone to thrift shops, consignment shops, online, you know, ask people what they have, but yeah, it's very interesting to see. So, like I said, the pearls are back. I'm telling you, I was checking in. If you sold grandma's pearls on eBay, you're going to be sorry because they're back. They're back. Everybody's wearing them, right? It's, a lot of them in costume and stuff. But yeah, no, it's interesting to see if you really think about it. And then, of course, I'm Googling. Mr. Google is my best friend these days, looking for, you know, certain information that, like, well, I don't want to give it away. this is part of my speech for the
that's fine,
for the
that's
luncheon.
fine.
Yes, you'll be giving a speech, and that's always entertaining. And it's always a wonderful event when you see neighbors and friends, and you know that's why we
Everybody's
love
coming,
it.
you know, just for this. This is a celebration of us, 50 years of doing good. We do have one raffle that's just to offset the costs. Nothing else. We're not selling we're not selling anything at it. Just the one raffle that went in the mail with the ticket because
Oh, okay.
things are expensive, and
Yeah.
you know, I'd have to up the price of the ticket too high. So it was easier to do a raffle.
Right, so people will. pay
Everybody
come
likes
the
to win. I
event.
told you, everybody wants to win.
Even if it's a rose,
Yeah, they don't.
Oh, that's true.
Right. And,
That's true.
you know. But yeah, it's it'll be a fun event, and again, it's for a good because This one, I believe, is for the Science Museum of Long
yes, the
Island.
Children's Science Museum. Yes.
Oh, yes. I know you're very much involved in that.
Yes, I am.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm all about teaching children, and their science is a very important part of their everything they can do in life. So, to have that museum in our backyard is just a home run. It's a home run. They do great things, but that's a conversation for a different show.
So tell me, when were you president for the first time? What year?
98, 99, 2000. From 98 to 2000. I was the Millennium President.
Ah.
I made changes. I was the well, young kid on the block. Like I told you, I was taller than, right? First thing I did is the title, got rid of the directory. We were all listed under our husband's name, and then your name in parentheses on the side. And a lot of the young people resented that. You know, women's lib, they really resented it. But a lot of the old timers, so I did away with that. I did.
Interesting.
And then we did a lot of trips. We had the buses that went up to, you know, gambling up there. What do they call
Foxwood. Yeah, Foxwood.
Foxwood.
Right.
And we went to the New York Stock Exchange and had a tour on the floor of the Stock Exchange. That was a fun day. We went places. We had more bus rides, and we were very active. Every month we had something.
Right.
And yeah, every month we did something when I was president. But you know, that's why I'm still here. Like I said, past presidents are still here. There's no escape clause. Once you're in this club, you're in.
You're always
a president.
Right.
Once a president, always a president, right? It's like,
And our oldest president, past president?
yeah, just passed away.
Yeah.
It was Terry Ferrari. Terry Ferrari was our
yes.
in-house beauty queen.
She was.
She was Miss Subways. She was Miss I think-
Coca-Cola.
No, she was the Norman Rockwell Coca-Cola ad painting. That's her, and she was voted the prettiest girl on CBS. And oh yeah, she has a whole, you know, she just passed away 2 weeks ago, day before Mother's Day.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So now our oldest living member is 96.
96, yes.
Right.
And we hope she'll be there. We don't
Oh,
know.
she'll
if she'll-
come. I'm going to go and get her.
Right. Yeah. So.
I'm going to go and get her. But
Now, there's a title I don't want, but I'm not okay. Diane Turner is 6 months older than me, so I know.
So you changed the way things worked when
did.
there was Y2K and the whole change of the millennials.
I did.
And who took over after you did?
Diane. Again, Diane Turner, Linda Gaddy. Linda Gaddy was president. They kind of did joint presidents after that. I was single, then after that we had joints.
right, 'cause it's
You
a
were
lot-
single, though. You came in.
I was a single
Yeah.
when I was president.
And
then
because
they teamed after me.
it teamed after you.
Yeah.
There was one team after me, and then there were two singles.
Even though you're
Some-
president, we all work together, and we don't leave her out there by herself. So,
No.
you know, we help Maureen with her luncheon and, you know, all the different events. It takes a team to make a whole, you know, to make everything work properly. And
Some people are better at other things than, you know what I mean? Like some people wouldn't, oh, I can do the labels, or I can give you a spreadsheet of everybody with their, and then somebody else would say, I'm not going near the computer. So, I mean, you got to look at their strengths and weaknesses, and
we
you
all
know,
work
together we work it. I don't know how. We just been lucky, I guess. It's just,
we're lucky. We enjoy each other's company, so
So
they think I'm funny. That's why I keep coming back.
it's very funny.
what is your background?
My background?
Yeah. Other than mom and all these other.
I'm a stockbroker.
Are you kidding?
Well, retired, yes.
Wow. Is that how you got your customers? With your sense of humor?
No, that's how she got into Wall Street.
My husband.
Tour of the stock
My
exchange.
husband was a specialist on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. But I knew, no, I wasn't when I met him, but I met him on the subway.
You know, my parents met on the subway
Did they?
too, which
I'm
is
telling
very interesting. And if you would say that today, you'd say, "Oh my gosh!"
Right. No, really.
So,
Well, there's a lot more people on the subway. I think meeting people might be a little easier today.
I don't know. They take an
true.
Uber. You can't meet
Yeah, I
anyone
know,
unless
they
it's a
Uber.
shared ride. You're not meeting anybody.
it's a very different time.
Different.
So, what events have you done that really address serious social issues? Which I know you have, because I know that you sponsored one specifically addressing the opioid issue. I know that this is not a fun conversation to have, but it's something that does exist. And I know that as a club, you have a big social conscience. So,
We do and we don't. It's not, we
Try to keep it light and happy.
light and lovely, yeah.
Right. If you get
If you
too-
have 100 women in the same room and you're going to talk about specific social issues, we kind of feel it would be best to leave that up to the news media, because what are you talking about? Well, let me interpret what you think, like bullying, vaping, recreational marijuana, sexual assaultment nowadays. Are those the subjects that you're referring to?
No,
Or-
in this case, I was referring to one case where the former mayor was notified that a member of the community passed away because of an opioid issue. And she got very upset, and I know that she spoke to the club and asked for the support of the club to address the entire community of Flower Hill, because it was something that I'm realizing that you are a social club. You have a lot of strength because you have fun, and people always want to have fun.
Right.
So,
Well, if
What
someone,
we do is we have sent out notices, like if it was something at the library
Right.
or something at the high school regarding these delicate subjects, hot topics, whatever you want to call them, to inform our members, and so that they can go to it. But I don't know if we really like
we don't
you know,
host
we're
those
social and we're
events.
fundraising,
Right.
and I don't know. Sometimes, like I said, it's very hard with 150 women in a room to get into some of those discussions. But I
there's
know
150 different opinions,
that's right.
absolutely.
and then it wouldn't end well.
Yeah.
No,
We wouldn't leave happy.
no.
But
So one of the things that is really very sweet, especially at your parties, is that you like to give parting gifts. And tell me, how do you determine what that gift is? Like, one time it was a bell, another time it was an ornament. And like you said, everybody likes to win, and they feel like they win when they get that. What's the message behind there?
well, it's a drawer. Come back and see us again, because you know, like you say, when you leave with something, you want to come back. You know, and it's
I like things I can eat in the car going home.
because sometimes you talk too much and you never eat.
But how do we determine what it is?
Yeah.
It depends
Amazon,
on the
what's on
event.
sale? I mean,
Right.
it's like what?
Well,
something-
if we're doing a St. Patrick's Day
Day.
luncheon, we'll get little Irish guys.
It's hard. It's hard. Christmas will be one. We've had them all.
Right. We try to
Depends
keep the centerpieces to something everyone can.
It's also price. We're always shopping. We're always if there's anybody in the community that has any connections, it's
That's
ding
always
dong.
useful.
It's like
Yeah, it's we try to keep it light and happy, and give everybody something, even if it's just a napkin.
everybody likes to walk out holding something.
Right.
They do.
They do, and if
So
I
it's
don't get them this
psychological.
time, we'll get them at the next event. Or
It's the ones that walk out with 3 that we have to stop at the door. They're in every club.
It's true.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you very much for being guests on my show today. I think that I want to congratulate you on your 70 years of success. I know that you have been the longest, I think, running
So we're
club
told.
in the area, and your event for the 70th will be on
June 12th.
June 12th.
Right.
So,
Yes, and it's on the website if you want to come and visit us. We're happy to have you.
And
Be a
bring
member,
friends.
meet the people,
bring friends.
bring friends, and meet new friends.
Thank you very much.
Then remember, what you're wearing today might be in my 80th anniversary fashion show.
So it was a great pleasure having you as guests this afternoon. That's all we have for today. Thank you for watching From the Source. Tune in next time for more in-depth interviews with members of your community.